Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. We're going to look at the astrology of the week ahead. That's the week beginning the 8th of December, Sunday to Saturday. And so let's dive right in. We can get started. And while I'm looking for the file, um, I'd like to welcome all my viewers. My new viewers. I've had a bit of a uptick in 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 my subscriptions. I think I'm just a 10 or 15 away from 15,000. So thank you guys. It means the world to me. And of course, not just my new, but my tried and true as well. Um, I really appreciate that we've been walking this journey together. Let's put it that way. All right. So let me, uh, did I do this? Let's see. I want to share this. Yes. Okay. I think I'm sharing it. Um, slideshow. Okay. Sorry, guys. The technical stuff always messes me up. Come on, slideshow. Wake up, computer. Oh my goodness. Very slow today. All right. Okay, good. I think this is working now. If there was a long pause, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my computer. But Mercury is retrograde right now, as is Mars. So, we can only get what we can get at this time. All right, which is something to take into consideration as we start this week, right? So this is just some of the energy we're dealing with. I like to go over it all the same. We're in the 8 vibration year. It is the last month of this year. And it has really been a big manifesting year. I know it's been true for me. Um, it hasn't been an easy year because of the things that are going on in the world. It's hard to bear witness to a lot of that and go through the emotional ups and downs, as it were. But it really has been at least for me, a year in which I did harvest what I sowed in a way, and I'm very grateful for that. It's been a lot of energy in a direction that, um, for the most part, was a reach out into space and asking the question, what's going on here? And so, and what's going on is that we are manifesting, and we're in an 8 year. So this is the strength card. This is the Leo energy. Energetically, it's located in the throat chakra. Um, it's um, it's the energy of as you sow, so shall you reap. It is the intelligence of all spiritual activities on the tree of life. The intelligence of all spiritual activities is the Kundalini. It is the spirit within that is asleep within us in our root chakra and then eventually makes its way up and out. And we remember who we are, right? We remember who we are. We also have the 12, the month of the 12 vibration from the month. And this is the Hanged Man card, right? It's the Hanged Man card called the stable intelligence. This is where we have to look at things from a different perspective. Um, something to consider, right? That we need to look at what we're seeing with our eyes in a different way, um, and to connect with spirit. So perhaps it's not what we see with our eyes, but it's what we see with this eye. And yet there's not much that we can do to change things. We must just stay connected to cosmic consciousness, because I feel like some of the things that are going on right now seem like antithetical to um, our vision of the future. But what it really is it's just a mechanism to focus our intention to building that future, the real future, not the old future, not a future based on the past, but a future based on the present, um, and dealing with the present as so. But this is a month of staying connected to cosmic consciousness and allowing those things that you have no control over really to just let them go, and to let the process happen and look deep within in your own self, know thyself. um, Look deep within. And in fact, this month Neptune just on the 7th, um, yesterday on the 7th, well, today, really, not quite yet, but last week, last week's planetary outlook, um, we had Neptune station direct. And that is, this is Neptune's, we're starting to exit out of Pisces now. Neptune's going to move forward and go into Aries for a little bit next year, and then come back into Pisces, and then it's going to go back into Aries, and it is going to meet up with Saturn in 2026 at the first degree of Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac. It's the beginning of the beginning. It is the I am. And so, it's incumbent upon us perhaps to really come to terms with who we are. What have we come here to do? North Node in Aries, and Aries, the North Node is going to be moving out of Aries in January, and it's going to go into Pisces where it meets up with Neptune. So there's still some stuff that we're working out here, but um, this is a big shift and a big change, and it's part of this hanged man vibration, really. All right. And then we have, when you add the month and the year together, and we get the awakening, right? We get um, the judgment, the inevitability, the uncovering, the apocalypse, as it were. And the element is fire. The element is fire. Oops, so what am I doing here? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get back. Yeah, this is water. Mayam, Mayam, this path right here, Mayam. And this is fire, Shin. I think that's how you say it. And that's this path right here, fire. And what's on that path? Pluto. And what just happened with Pluto? It just moved into Aquarius. So this really is a push for the people's voice to be heard this month. And so spiritual awakening, revelations, act decisively and gather the facts, look at the larger picture and make your decision. Make your decision. All right, so we are moving into the Aquarian age, kicking and screaming, guys. All right, so this was the first week, and we went through this whole thing, so I'm just going to skip through these pictures. Some of the pictures are nice, so it's kind of nice to just go. There's that Mars retrograde. Had a special little video on that morning. Again, the Mars retrograde, Venus. This just happened on Saturday. Venus in Aquarius, and then Venus conjunct Pluto. Venus Saint Kidden. We have an opposition between Jupiter and Jupiter. Oh, geez, Jupiter and Mercury, both retrograde in mutual reception. It's special. This is special. Square Saturn, pretty tightly, pretty tightly. Saturn saying, "Hey guys, you know, your ideas, your facts, and your philosophy, you guys, reality is calling, and you're going to have to answer to reality." And then Neptune stations direct, right? So that was just yesterday, right? All right. So week 2, we start with the first quarter moon on Sunday. It is a crisis in action moon, and it is based on the seeds planted in the new moon, at the new moon, which of course was in Sag, right? Um, what was the symbol for that? Hold on, let me see. The symbol for that new moon. Let's just go back real quick. Just hope I'm not making you dizzy here. Um, the goddess of opportunity, disregarding society's definition of success. Interesting. Fame and fortune is the powerful goddess whom we serve unless we free ourselves from the illusion that she provides happiness, finding our own definition of happiness. People are just sick and tired of leaders not listening to them and doing what they want with their money and their children and the toil of their labor. And it's, you know, it's time to hear what the people have to say, you know. All right, so we have the crisis in action. Sorry there. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? We'll look at the chart in short order. And then on Thursday, the 12th, we have Venus oppose Mars. This is part of the Venus-Mars synodic cycle. It's a 2-year cycle, and it's the halfway point. Now, this started back in February when these two planets came together at 7 degrees of Aquarius. And so that was the seed that was planted at that time. And so now when we have the opposition, we have the fruition of that seed. And it is interesting, masculine and feminine are as far apart as they can be from each other. And so there is an awareness that we must come to a sense of balance that we must come to. We must come into our hearts. 32.5 is the path of the United States. This is the lesson that we're here to learn, and it is also the wound. Freedom, what is freedom? Who is truly free? Do we really allow ourselves to be free? Because I think if we allowed ourselves to be free, we'd be much more loving. And this is about love. This vibration on this day is located in the heart chakra, in Tiphereth, in the center of the tree. Friday the 13th. Ooh. We have Jupiter, sesquiquadrate Pluto. Wow, Pluto and Jupiter. Who knew they were going to do anything, right? Well, they're in there. They're at an evolutionary gateway again. I believe there's 3 of these. I'm not exactly sure, and I apologize for that. But and this cycle, this synodic cycle, began in 2020. In the heat of COVID, actually, each time these two planets came together in their initial conjunction, of which there were 3, there was a surge in COVID mortality, which, you know, is uh, Jupiter is often associated with um, expansion, and Pluto is associated with death. So, not that that's what's going to happen this time, because it's a different energy. Now, we'll look at that more closely with the charts, and then we have also on the 13th Venus, Mercury sextile Venus. This is at 7 of Sag Aquarius, nice heart and mind sort of coming together. But this is the big kahuna this week. This is the big, I think, learning experience along with the Jupiter sesquiquadrate Pluto, which is less perhaps passionate and romantic, but not nonetheless, maybe even more important because it's a longer term cycle. Jupiter Pluto cycle synods, I think, are about 13 years, so 12 or 13 around there. I think it depends on Pluto. All right, let's look at the first quarter moon. A crisis in action on the initial intent of the conjunction at 10 of Sag, right? Finding your own definition of what success is. So now I think that um, I think a lot of people are assessing where they stand and what they're willing to do and how far they're willing to go to protect their rights, right? And especially women, because well, the golden-haired goddess of success is a goddess, is she not? Right? What we value, what we think is important, what is beautiful, what is beautiful. Now the moon is at 18 of Pisces, a gigantic tense performance in public, it says. We are subject to the pressures and support of our community, which sometimes focuses its attention on us alone. Be entertainer, teacher, and priest. This is time for you to be seen, right? Based on what is true for you. What's your truth? Sag, right? New moon and Sag. What's the truth? What's your truth? Your truth may not be the truth in all cases, but it's your truth. And it needs to be, uh, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledged. And then hopefully you can learn from there if there's something else you need to know, right? All right. The sun at 18 of Sag, tiny children in sunbonnets, guarding against overload. Whether from earthly or psychic forces, we must defend ourselves against letting too much energy, letting in too much energy, limiting our exposure to excitement. That is what the crisis in action square of this lunation cycle is telling us. It's telling us to limit the amount of stress you expose yourself to through this process, through this period. It's okay to know what's going on, but do your best not to get obsessive in the details, right? Don't go down the rabbit holes. Don't go down the rabbit holes. But to vision, instead of spending your time going down somebody else's rabbit hole or somebody else's hole, yikes and yuck. What's your vision for the future? What's your creative thoughts? What's your solutions? What's your, we are the people we've been waiting for. We got to get good at the things. We have to be willing to be better at the things we're good at. That's what I want to say about that. All right. So excuse me, the moon, the sun. Here's the moon conjunct Saturn pretty much and square Jupiter, right? And well, this is kind of wide now, but because Mercury's moving away. backwards more. Here is the Pluto Venus, just coming off the Pluto Venus conjunction of Saturday. She is in Aquarius now. She's been maybe gone through hell, Pluto and Pluto, Venus going into the underworld and then coming back out, right? But she goes in a maiden and she comes out a queen. So she's been, the crown has been put on her head, right? The crown. Pluto in the tree of life, Pluto sits up in the crown. And so when the planets come through, it's like Pluto crowns them with the desire, the unconscious desire. And the desire is one of building the Aquarian ideal, the things that last, the things that matter, the things that are important. All right. Let's and the vibration of the day, the Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Looking out at the world, visualizing the world. One foot in what's happening, and then another foot in the future. And the crow and the eagle is flying. The eagle is flying. The eagle sees the big picture and the small details. All right. I didn't think this one was going to be long today, but it seems like I'm going on and on, but hopefully you don't mind that as much. I think the information is really good. All right. I know when I watch Marianne from Revealing Light and she apologizes for the length of the video, I always think to myself, I could listen to you for hours, Marianne. Don't worry about how long this video is. It's like food, right? So hopefully you feel that way. All right. So let's look at this opposition. Um, Venus in um, Venus in Aquarius, right? Opposite Mars in Leo, which just turned retrograde. Just turned retrograde. So Venus is sort of moving forward here, and Mars is moving back. And Mars in Leo is like the royalty, right? So this is what I think is happening in France with they just did, I think, no contest for their government. And what had happened is they called a referendum, I guess. And what happened is they got in on the progressives because the progressives joined with the centrists. And then then they did something where they didn't install the progressives and they put in the more, I think, and of course, I don't know that much about French politics, so I apologize for the politicos out there. But as I understand it, they um, they put the conservative in some way. I don't know how that works, but and then the progressives and the people just have been losing their minds ever since. And of course, France has been going through a lot of labor disputes and the like. So, um, yeah. So, and then I think there's a Notre Dame thing happening. I don't know if it's happening this week. I'm going to have to look that up. It might be happening right around this opposition, which is interesting because I believe France is Leo, or at least France has that Leo energy, right? Like that's just kind of the energy of the French, I think. And but they're ardent, for democracy and labor and their freedoms, and it means a lot to them. Um, so um, it is that I think is reflected in this chart. Now, Venus is just off her conjunction with Pluto. So she's been through the gauntlet, I guess we could say. And now she moves out, and she's going to be moving forward as Mars moves backwards. But then later in the year, she does have a retrograde cycle in 2025. So she will be stepping back a little, and then Mars will be moving forward. So we'll have to look at that. There's a little bit of a sort of a seesaw thing happening as we try to find our balance, right, between the masculine and the feminine. So we have the opposition, the halfway point of the Venus Mars synod. The interesting thing is that the vibration of the day, 32.5, the vibration of the United States path, lesson around freedom and their wound around freedom, learning their lessons through the wounding of freedom. You know, freedom can be very isolating in a way if you just want to keep striving, and then what? Then where are you? You know, we have the initial conjunction also is a 32.5 day. So there's that connection, the seed and the harvest. Same vibration, 32.5 freedom. The interesting thing though is that on this one, we actually have something. 32.5 is the Leo vibration. We actually have something in Leo, and we have Mars in Leo. So we have Venus at 6 of Aquarius, performer in a mystery play, our roles as agencies of higher forces. Our role as agencies of higher forces. That's the Venus energy, right? Moving forward, coming off her date with Pluto, um, where he impregnated her with the seed of power, perhaps. Power for the people. The goddess. Says not only do we live out our human lives in simple workaday ways, but we also serve the function to bring higher mysteries to earth, channeling ancient archetypes in your own unique fashion. That is opposing Mars at 6 degrees of Leo retrograde, impermanence of values. What is thought to be important, moral, or even courteous changes very quickly from one generation to the next. The impermanence of values. This is a reminder, I think, that we have great power if we decide to use it for the good and in the direction of the good, instead of falling back on this need to I don't know, fight, war, hurting each other, bullying. Name your poison. Mars and Leo, no offense to Mars and Leo, because I love Mars and Leo. It's a great energy. You feel like the sun shining on you when a Mars and Leo person is around, but it can be very tyrannical. And now it's moving backwards in Leo. And it moves back in Leo until January 6th. January 6th, yes. I know what I'm saying. 2025. It goes back into Cancer. And then things change a little. Then things start to change. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. This is what we're seeing. Now, this is the sesquiquadrate between Pluto and Jupiter. This happens on Friday the 13th. Woo! 33-6 is the Seven of Wands, right? The guy on the top of the hill with all the wands coming at him, but he's got the higher ground. Looks like a ninja. Standing up for what you believe in, fighting off all comers, having the higher ground, having the greater perspective. 33-6 vibration. Also a master number. Also a master number, master of spiritual compassion. Jupiter waxing sesquiquadrate to Pluto. Inner discord results when we come to realize that we cannot have our way in the world all the time. This discord is imperative if we are to eventually be motivated to become more self-analytical and selective in our use of creative power. The discord is imperative if we are to eventually be motivated to become more self-analytical and selective in our use of creative power. We ought to look at ourselves, don't we? We are at an evolutionary gateway in the Pluto-Jupiter synod, moving from the first phase, the crisis and action phase. Act, 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 do, 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 do. I'm doing I'm the greatest. This is the best. I'm the greatest. This is the fall from grace, guys. This is the fall from grace of the powerful. This week, right here. And this isn't the only one. I think there's two others. And I don't know exactly when they happen. I think one already happened and we have one more. Or this could be the last one. But this is this energy of the fall from grace, fall from the powerful. Now, that could include not just leaders, but countries, like where countries are in the pecking order, like America, for instance. We voted for a con man. Like, now you know how I feel about the vote, so I think we didn't vote for a con man. That's what I think. But I do think that 045, it's funny because if he's 47, 47 is the Seven of Cups in the tarot, right? It's illusion and delusion. He's the illusion delusion presidency. Oh my God. Which would make Biden the 46th president. Let's see, he would be the welcome home president. And 045 was 45. That's the Five of Cups. That's the, oh my God. That's the sorrow presidency. So lots of passing, lots of death in his when he was president. So all right, and of course that was right around the time that this synod began. This synod began in 2020 with three conjunctions at 23 and 25, twice at 25, Capricorn. The Sabian symbol for 23 of Capricorn, 2 awards for bravery in war. This is the same degree that we had the Saturn Pluto conjunction of 2020, but that only happened once, the 12th of January, 2020. Boom. Everything pretty much eventually came to a stop and gave people the time to get to connect. And then 25 Capricorn, I'm sitting here listening because the train, we have I think the train comes through here like twice a day. And I just heard the train whistle. It's always kind of cool. Uh, 25 Capricorn, Oriental rug dealer. Okay. Now Pluto is at one of Aquarius, an old Adobe mission, lasting values, sesquiquadrate, Jupiter at 16 of Gemini. Check out this saving symbol. You can't make this stuff up. A woman activist in an emotional speech dramatizing her cause. Passionate persuasion. Ladies. Ladies and gentlemen. Passionate persuasion. Eyes open, heart open, on our feet, standing strong, grounded. It's time, ladies and gents. It's time. All right, let's one more thing, I think. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the sextile. Sextiles open the lines of communication, help us to talk to each other, right? Here's that of wands. A wonderful time for getting together with people you love and value for socially aware, love and value for socially aware conversation. This is very progressive. We have Sag, Mercury, our minds in Sag, and retrograde, so it's introspective. It's introspective, and Venus in Aquarius. Seven of Aquarius is where Venus and Mars had their initial conjunction of the opposition that's happening. That just happened. What, a day or so before? Um, Mercury at seven of Sag, Cupid knocking on the door. Ooh, Cupid stirring up emotion. There's always something going on to keep us from giving up and losing our appetite to stay involved with life's ups and downs. Being receptive to the stirring emotions, being receptive to stirring emotions. And then Venus and so this is the mind stirring up the mind. Um, and then Venus, a child being born out of an egg, freedom from old ways and standards. Dramatic changes occur when entirely new mutations occur that break the traditions of the past, breaking with traditions. You know, it's interesting. A lot of times I say that Donald Trump is an awakener, and I that is very true. I definitely see him as that energy. And so adores, we're being offered a door. Like we didn't get man's justice, but there's another justice that's stronger than man's justice. And that's cosmic justice. And cosmic justice is perhaps giving us an opportunity through these experiences to create the world we want instead of the world that we're seeing. And so it behooves all of us to both have a vision, and it doesn't have to be a grand vision. It could just be what's deepest in your heart. Is it a good night's sleep? Is it getting to see an old friend? Is it whatever, whatever it is, traveling to start to visualize that and to go there. So it's going to be an interesting week, guys. Last week, this week, then the holidays are upon us, and then July, December is just going to be one of those months where we'll look back and say, whoa, whoa. Yep. Have yourself a great week, guys. Take care of yourselves. Self-care. Be careful out there. There's a lot of angst. Not everybody is as tapped in as you guys, so they're feeling this in a whole different way. All right. Let's see. Mystic Sisters. I'm actually going to put this out today. So Mystic Sisters tonight. Today's the 7th. On this channel, Victoria Skirbo. Come join us. We'll talk about what's going on, the stars, and all kinds of, whatever else happens to come up in conversation. But always fun and always interesting. Got a nice group of people. Okay, guys, take care. Much love. I'll see you tonight. Namaste.